Welcome back. I'm guest host Courtney Rich, and for Brooke Walker today. For moms with school kids, the transition to summer is more than a shift in schedule. Our next guest claims it's a mindset shift. Author and speaker Connie Sokol is here to share 3 daily grounding practices for peace, focus, and joy. Hi, Connie.
Hi.
So wonderful to have you.
Lovely to be here. Thank you.
I'm so glad we're starting the summer with this conversation. I am so big into mindset. I do it a lot with my kids for sports as they're getting into their activities and just kind of how to have the right mindset going into it. But I love that we're like having moms focus on this.
Well, and it's a transition. I think we are so busy that we don't give ourselves time to transition from the school year or what is to what's coming next.
Yeah.
And being able to say, I love that adage, you are what you practice. So being able to say, okay, how do I want to intentionally do this summer or do this next phase?
Okay, key word there, practice.
Yes.
Mindset work is just as much as a practice as strength training with weights or running a track. We've got to practice it. So how does that look like in our, or what does that look like in our daily lives?
That is such a great point. And I think the more that we can look at it that way, then we can resonate with one I'm sharing today that might be like, oh, I really want to do that. The first one is set that personal intention. So it's a PMI, a personal intention for the day. And it's personalized. It's more of, what is this day gonna bring and what do I need in order to do the day? So you know when you start coming out of sleep in the morning and it's kind of that little bridge moment where you're coming to and then your first thought is, oh, the day, it's Tuesday and I've got to take the kids and I got to do a project, blah, blah, blah. And the angst starts, right? And you start, and instead we can take that moment and we can just deal with the day with I am statements. If you got that power meeting, then say, I am clear and focused. Or if you've got a really tricky family reunion, you say, I am present and connected. And be the thing that you want in those I am statements. So as you go throughout the day, you can just say those power statements of I am, and it's a personalized morning intention where you're like, this is what I need. This is so powerful. I cannot even express this. I learned this from Marnie Trasdahl. She does some classes on it. And I thought, well, you know, it's small, but I'll do it. I'll try it. So at the end of school, it was crazy, so stressful. And we were having this end of year party for my 10-year-old and all these boys. And I was like, and you know, I'm trying to be the mom and I'm not being the mom. And so I woke up that morning and I was like, oh, hundreds of water balloons that were gonna be. And then I went, I am playful. I am playful. And it changed the whole day. And what's beautiful is it keeps dominoing. So I've done it now. And every day when I'm feeling angsty, I just go, I am, and I take care of it.
Oh, I love that. And something I found that works for me is I try to wake up before the kids wake up.
Yes.
So that I can do that kind of thing in the quiet and peacefulness of my downstairs.
Just right there in your bed.
Before the chaos.
When you start waking up and coming to, you just, I am joyful.
Yeah.
And be joyful before, whew.
Okay, so we'll work on the mindset, and that's a practice. We're going to incorporate that every day. Next, you say women could afford to be a little bit better at forgiveness.
Yes. Well, and I love the point that was made. Sometimes when we hear that word, and I'm working with women or speaking, and they come up after, it feels so heavy, and it triggers them back to those experiences or people that are really raw. And instead, I kind of look at this as a first layer of forgiveness. So more of, like we were saying, a go-to rather than a must-do. So as you're driving and someone cuts you off, I forgive you. And you just say it clearly and quickly, and maybe even silently. Or your coworker that drives you crazy and keeps turning in their stuff late, and you say, I forgive you, in your mind. And this is not condoning what they did, but this is getting rid of that sort of emotional energy that becomes an obstacle in your path. And you just whoosh, like a power wash, you just whoosh and wash it out. And then you're open and ready. This works so well, and you can do it all throughout the day. I learned this from Wendy Christensen, who's a therapist, and she shared that she had taught this one teenager who was really struggling with her parents, really angry at them. So unusual. But she was working with it, and 2 weeks later they met. She taught this principle, and 2 weeks later they met, and this teenager was like, I can't believe my relationship with my parents has shifted, and not only that, with her siblings.
Wow.
Because she was practicing it on the daily. So it's just cleaning it out. Whew.
I love the idea of doing it right away, so you don't even let the negative thoughts fester and build and simmer, right? Because then they start to boil, right? Like we're a pot of water.
Oh yeah, and then you start looking for evidence. Oh yeah, and then they did, and then they did, and then you go down to all these deep hurts that you don't even know are still sedimentary, right?
Yes.
So you just get it cleaned out.
Okay, I forgive. Finally, you say gratitude will ground us faster than anything else. How so?
Absolutely. Well, beautifully, it helps us take us from the scarcity mentality into immediate abundance. So this comes from the book Gap to Gain, and it's by Dr. Benjamin Hardy. And he talks in there about often we're such such a type A society where we're like always the ideal, reaching for the ideal, instead of savoring where we are and celebrating where we've come from and coming from that space of gratitude. And I remember years ago, I remember reading this article that Oprah was going to go to Hawaii and she was going to climb this mountain. And so she had it all laid out, you know, essentially 20 minutes here and 40 minutes here, blah, blah, blah. So she starts climbing the mountain and she's going and then she just felt to look out over the vista and it was gorgeous. And she's like, why am I racing to the top? Like, enjoy where I am and celebrate how far I've come. And it changed the rest of the climb.
Yes.
So instead of us constantly, I'm gonna lose this weight, I'm gonna do this, instead, if we come from this deep gratitude place of, I'm so grateful for where I am, and let me celebrate all that I've become and done to get here, that's what I call a deep gratitude moment.
I love
and
that.
That's powerful.
And you say, we're running out of time and you've got so much to share, but you even said writing out some of the things that you've accomplished and that you're grateful for, and taking a moment just on pen and paper to celebrate that.
Oh, yes.
I know you had some amazing quotes, so we'll share those online.
Great.
I know you'll have those on Instagram, so where can we follow along and learn more?
Oh, you're so great. ConnieSokol.com, and I have a free 5-finger download for another practice, very fast on 5 fingers, and it's so powerful when you live it. So ConnieSokol.com.
Okay, we need to check that out because I was really eager to hear more about that. I'm just so sorry. There's so much to talk about and learn from you.
And I wish we were in pajamas. We could do so much more.
Yes, it would be so great. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.